The first thing I realized when I got into this van project was that it was fundamentally impossible to record and edit videos that had any sort of decent entertainment value while working full-time and working on this van. So I just started recording random clips and slapping them together and posting them, and they weren't great. And I didn't have time to do more than that. So for those who are managing to edit something with a decent entertainment value while they're also working full-time or working full-time and recording, I'm really impressed because I couldn't do that. It was really freaking hard. So I am not at the stage of van construction, but this is as much as I was able to handle with keeping up with it. But I did try for a little while, and I realized I just kept getting worse at it, and I stopped trying. So I'm gonna try to catch up now and get some things posted since I'm not really working on the van anymore. We did spend some time cutting some foam insulation board, I think that's called board, and getting that in the walls. It's what the van had initially. When I purchased it, there was some pieces in there, so we just decided to keep going with that. I looked at some other options, and this seemed pretty decent. We did struggle with getting it in these odd places. There were some really weird cuts in the van, so trying to create pieces of the foam insulation to get in these cuts was difficult. Also, my dad and I apparently don't know how to cut. I mean, they weren't straight lines that we were working with, and we tried to make cardboard templates to go in these odd places, and it just didn't work. So we ended up just doing a bunch of small pieces and using insulation tape to hold it together. So there's 3 layers and some spray foam in the gaps, and then I put furring strips, and we ended up with a panel of birch over, and I'll show that later. I didn't have a lot of time when we got to this point because we spent a ton of time and money under the hood, but that is a story for another time. Oh my gosh, so you know what happens when you don't have the right setup? Well, if you're my father, you rig something or you make do. So when we started to cut the wood for the panels, he didn't have a table. So he used his little picnic table. And that's real safe. But I guess you gotta do what you gotta do to get it done. And I was in a hurry to get it done because I was 2 months behind schedule.